Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Game and Watch podcast. This is episode number 96. I'm your boy, Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool. I am joined once again by my main man, co host, F Man, Finest Dabs, aka RView Gaming, OVG, whatever he wants to call himself these days.
Yo, what's going on, people?
Yes, the Game and Watch podcast. Just a reminder, folks, if you're watching or listening, we thank you guys for doing so. If you just be sure that you can watch us on any available platform that we are on. If you're watching, you can listen on any available platform that we're on, and if you're listening, you can just be sure to watch us. If you are listening, there will be a link to where you can watch the show in the show notes. So just keep an eye out on that if you'd like to go through show notes, along with all the sources and stuff that we use for today's episode. If you want to reach out, gamingwatchpodcast at gmail.com. We will read your questions or comments over air. Usually toward the end of the show, we'll do that. If you're watching us live, any comments made, we will do toward the end of the show. And just also a reminder that we do have a Patreon, so definitely support us on there. Any dollar donated to the show will make the show better for all, including us, the host, and you, the listener or viewer. And also, if you want to follow us on a personal level, all our links to where you can follow us will also be in the show notes. So, with all that out of the way, let's get in episode 96 rolling. How you doing, F?
Dude, 96. 96. I'm doing well.
Oh yes,
Um,
yes, yes, yes. We're almost there. We're almost at episode 100.
yeah, it's coming. It's coming quick.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
doing
coming quick.
well. I'm busy as ever, right before the show. I had two crying kids.
Aw.
So one I was like, he didn't he didn't want to watch Encanto. He wants to watch Rainbow Kids on Netflix. And I'm like, kid, we're not watching Rainbow Kids. No one wants to see that. Actually, it's like power rainbows or I don't know, something with rainbows and power and kids. Anyway,
Aw.
there was that, and the other baby was just wanted to be fed. But other than that, I'm doing great. I'm doing really good. Not as tired as I was last week at this time. So,
Yeah.
how about yourself? How you holding
Uh,
up?
I'm good. Woke up early, 6:30. The sun's shining right into our bedroom. Went for a walk. Been walking 3 miles every day this week. So just trying to
Nice.
be active, all that good stuff. I can walk a little over 3 miles within an hour, so that's good. I should probably start up the game a little bit. Start running or jogging or something. I was doing it a while back, but I just kind of fell off the wagon, and
Okay.
all
Okay.
that just happens. And then otherwise, it should be a good day today. Just relaxing. As you can see, I got this new mic here. So if you guys are for those of you listening, yes, I updated my mic. I'm a biter. I copied my main man OVG here.
You know what? It's high quality. It's just in any normal circumstances, I would be like, yeah, you totally bit me. Like, but it's a quality mic and it works,
Yeah.
and that's the main thing. So the people out there can hear what you're saying and hear it clearly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's just the thing about podcasting in general. And we've been. I mean, one thing we are gamers, but we love podcasting. So I mean,
Hmm.
it's a great space. I mean, I'm glad I suggested we start doing it, and we've been running with it. So I mean, for any other podcaster out there, regardless of what it's about, definitely just look at your equipment stuff and all that good stuff. It's not gonna come overnight. I mean, we can tell you
Yeah.
that right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
Slowly
come
been
overnight.
upgrading our equipment
Yeah.
over 3 years. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so yeah, so definitely take a look. It's called the HyperX Quadcast S. For those of you that
Hmm.
interested, I'll even drop a link in the show notes after when I get all that ready to go. Um, so with that being said, what are you playing, or have you just still been on daddy duty and?
No, no. I mean, I'm playing games in my free time. I mean, we jumped on Turtles in Time. What is it? Turtles in Time? Not Turtles in
Oh,
Time.
Shredder's
Teenage Mutant.
Revenge.
Yeah, Shredder's Revenge. The other day. Might as well be Turtles in Time, but no. We jumped on that together the other day, and then other than that, I've been playing Spider-Man Miles Morales still.
Okay.
I don't get a lot of time on it, but I usually on it just about every day. I jump on and I'll pop in and do like one mission. Usually takes me about 30 minutes. and yeah, and then I'll hop off, and yeah, that's my gaming time pretty much on a daily basis because that's pretty much all the part of me. That's all the
Mm,
time that I have right now. So yeah, Spider-Man Miles Morales. I'm the PlayStation Plus subscription, so I was able to download that. It's on my console, and then I created a folder just for my PlayStation Plus subscription games, and then I'll just keep on downloading them there and playing them, and then we get a new drop of games. Or yeah, we got a new drop of games. So yeah, I'll be seeing what other games I want to download from that subscription, and
yeah.
yeah.
All right, sounds good. As for me, I mean, it was a pretty busy week at work this week, so I mean, I played, Shredder's Revenge, jumped on that a little bit, and that really's been about the only game I've been playing right now. Just leveling up my characters, and I mean, I know we're gonna be talking about it a little bit later, but I think the replay value on it is pretty high in my opinion, especially if
Mhm.
you got guys that that consistently want to play it. And then actually, I did play a game last night, Tetris Ultimate. It's the Ubisoft one. I was playing that on my PlayStation yesterday. So
Mhm.
yeah, good Tetris game if you're just looking for some regular Tetris. Or you can always, if you have a Switch, Tetris 99, that's always available. But otherwise, I mean, that's really it. I mean, I probably do plan on playing a little bit more next week. I know there are a drop of games coming next week that we will talk about later on in the show, and toward the end of the show too, for the games coming out next week and all that good stuff. So hopefully, so hopefully we are ready for those games. Excuse me. All
Mhm.
right. So today on the show we will be discussing. Um, we'll be having a discussion about games being delisted. We'll talk about a situation that happened earlier this week, and unfortunately, we got to talk about this again. I don't really like talking rumors on this show, but we will be getting into more Switch Pro rumors. Dot 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 again. So I mean, it is what it is. We'll talk about it, but I figured it'd be a good discussion for this week. But first, let's get into the gaming news callouts. And we'll start with Sony and Western Digital. They have licensed SSDs for the PS5. The SSD drive, which is the SN850 NVMe drive, they sell them in 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes. Looks like if you are going to get one, I would suggest that. But it looks like PlayStation is going to license them now. I think you could probably still get it $10 cheaper if you just get the one without the PlayStation license. But I mean, because when these consoles license these, the prices tend to go up.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so it's about what 150. I was thinking about getting one for Prime Day, but I really just want to get that 2 terabyte and just be done with it. So I'm kind of just holding out until we see a little bit more of a price drop
Well,
in the
you
two
need
terabyte.
a big price drop, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
just
I mean the 2 terabyte is 279, and
yeah,
then the 1 terabyte is 169.
yeah.
So I don't know, man. That's gosh,
I could
this
do
is
I
the
could I could do 1 terabyte for like 150. I mean, the 1 terabytes I could do those easy.
yeah.
Um, but the 2 terabytes I can do a little bit. That's just way too expensive, if you know what I mean. Oh, hi, baby. How you doing?
Yeah, no, I mean I bought a 4 terabyte last generation, and that thing cost me about $100. And yeah, that was awesome. I was like, okay, like great, I can just plug this in externally, and then really just have that and just download my games and play off that hard drive. Um, yeah, and I mean, yes, you can technically plug in an external hard drive to this one, but you can't play off the external hard drive. So it's a little oh man, it's a little clunky. I'm glad that PlayStation's finally at least licensing this, so it's an official PlayStation hard drive, which is kind of cool. But at the same respect, like why didn't they have some type of alternate solution at the release of the console? Like,
Yeah,
why are we this far in and people have been running out of memory and people have been having to purchase like third parties? Why are we this far into the generation and PlayStation still really hasn't come up with a solution? Or, they made it so you can change it. Like they made it like, so you can take off those plates and change it relatively easy. But in the same respect, like why didn't if PlayStation knew like they weren't going to be able to create or license like and larger SSDs like prior to like 2 years 2 years plus into the console generation, why did it like I don't know. I think there was a better
yeah,
solution. I just
yeah. I think yeah they should have been more ready for this. Not wait for the technology. And this is one of the examples, as you can see, that
mhm,
this console, even though I have one, could have waited. In my opinion, like
yeah.
if you didn't have all this stuff ready from the get go, if you knew you couldn't play PS5 games off an external hard drive, and that people were going to be running out of space, it's just like, why put out the console? Because Microsoft did. That's why. But I mean,
Yeah. I mean, Microsoft at least had a solution though, right off the bat. Like,
yeah,
even though it's proprietary, which sucks.
yeah, that's even worse. That's even worse than this. But I mean,
Yeah,
because
we learned with the PSP and just like like past generations, like proprietary memory cards. They kind of make it more difficult. They're all oftentimes more expensive and things like that. But at least
yeah,
they had a solution for expandable memory at launch. But I
uh-huh.
mean, if you look at both these consoles, like if you purchase both these consoles and you want to expand their memory, you're looking at like $1,000 out the gate, like without any games or controllers. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, 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 for sure, definitely. So, I mean, for me, I know with the PS4, I mean, I swapped out the memory out of that later on. I mean, it was kind of a pain, but I updated it to 2 terabytes.
Mm-hmm.
And just I mean, they had a solution right out of the gate, and it was easier. The PS5, it's a little more complicated. I'm kind of scared to do it. Like when that day comes, maybe I'll do a video, or I might
Yeah.
want to watch a few videos before I do it. But it's I'm kind of dreading the day. I'm even thinking about just taking it to a pro place, like a computer shop near my home, and I just having them do it. But
Mm-hmm.
um, for the most part, yeah. I mean, when that day comes, I mean, we'll I mean, I'll let y'all know, and I'll let you
Yeah.
know how it
Have you filled
goes.
Have you filled up your PlayStation 5 yet? Because I've already filled up my PlayStation Series X.
You
So
mean your Xbox Series X?
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm obviously not there today. Yes,
Uh,
My Xbox Series X.
no, no. I think I know since I gave up on Elden Ring. Yes, I gave up on Elden Ring. People, the memory went back down a bit, so I want to say maybe I'm like maybe 200 gigabytes and maybe even less. I know
Yep.
WWE 2K22 is taking up a lot of space right now with all the
Yep.
DLC I have there, so I don't think I'm close to being filled. But once I do, I mean, and I'm just trying to hold out like toward the end of the year because I want to update it by the end of the year. I would
Mm-hmm.
like to do 2 terabytes. I think the 1 terabyte card drive is reasonable. The 2 terabyte, if it goes down to 200, I might pull the trigger. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
just have to wait and see.
I mean, it actually makes more sense to buy like well, no, never mind. Yeah, never mind. Okay, never mind. I had a point that I thought was relevant, but it actually isn't. But yeah, no, the 2 terabyte, I mean, I would sit on that, like even like if you can, like I would sit
Mm,
on that like another year because the technology is gonna get cheaper.
yeah,
And the way this current console generation is going, like I only see it. I, I only see this console generation actually being longer than past generations. Like the last, like a generation usually averages like 7 years. PlayStation Two, we saw them, developing those consoles for 10 years. Honestly, this
hmm,
generation, I feel like there's going to be more iterations. I feel like they're going to take a Nintendo Switch approach, and we're going
yeah,
to
I
get
think
like
so too.
I think we're going to get like 2, 3 versions of these consoles. and
Yeah.
with those 2 3 versions, I think they're all going to be backwards compatible. Honestly, I see like maybe like unless something like significant happens, like in the terms of like SSDs and technology like the GPUs that they put in these basically computers slash consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly I can see like an 11-year generation this time around. Just with the COVID and the shortage of production shortages and
Yeah.
supply and everything that's been happening currently.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know it may not be their choice, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't expect the next Xbox console or the PS6 anytime soon.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you there. I can see this generation going at least 8 years, maybe a few years longer than they had hoped. But I
yeah,
mean, it is what it is. Let's be real. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One isn't out the window yet, so I mean, it's
yeah. I mean, well, they have to keep those consoles relevant for as long as possible. As long as there's like supply shortages and everything, those consoles are going to be relevant that much longer. And I'm sure it's not what they initially had planned, but plans change, and we're kind of seeing that. But this year, we're finally seeing them say like, hey, these consoles aren't, we're not, our games are not going to be made for last generation consoles. And we're seeing that more and more. We saw that with Gotham Knights first, and then we've only seen that like happen with more and more games. Um, yeah.
all right. All right. Well, definitely moving on to some more PlayStation news. Haven Studios is the newest and latest acquisition for from PlayStation. I think we talked about this a while back in March. I guess it was an announcement back then, but it has
Hmm.
been finalized this past week. And with the PlayStation, Sony, acquiring Haven Studios, the cloud technology should improve. This studio is headed by Jade Raymond. She was formerly with Ubisoft. I don't think she's really done anything in a while, but she is pretty popular in the studio development cycle of gaming. So she's behind that, and I guess this studio had like 6 people that were like working remote, and they're finding new ways to work. So, with this acquisition, the cloud technology for PlayStation, we should see improvements. We'll probably see maybe we can see improvements on the PS3 side of things with the cloud gaming and all that good stuff. What are
Hmm.
your thoughts on Haven Studios being officially in the PlayStation family now?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's incredible. I in terms of Jade Raymond,
Mm.
I think it's amazing that she's created her own studio, and then it's like PlayStation certified already,
Yeah,
because they
that is
haven't put out a
great.
game. Like
Hmm.
Jade Raymond basically had a idea of like what she wants to facilitate through her studio, and yeah, she created the studio and picked a whole bunch of people outside the industry, because a lot of her games have not been developed, or
Yeah.
not developed, but they haven't been released. So
Hmm.
it's great to see, like, I mean, after I think it was over 10 years of games like that she spent on that like weren't released. One of those games that was Star Wars 1313, I believe was the
Yeah.
game,
Uh.
was one of them that she did and wasn't released. But I mean, she's been in the game industry for like a ridiculous amount of time. I mean,
Mm.
she worked on The Sims Online. She's worked on Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed, the first one. The second one, she's worked on Watch Dogs,
Watch Dogs. I
The
know she
Mighty
had.
Quest for, yeah. I mean, her resume is there, so I'm kind of not surprised that PlayStation has like picked her up, picked up her studio, and
Hmm.
really did like really like has a lot of faith in her and what she can do. Uh, but yeah, I think it's absolutely incredible, and she's working directly with Mark Cerny and R&D and cloud gaming. So I wonder if they are going to work with like Bungie maybe and do some of those multiplayer games that or live service games that like Sony talked about earlier this year, because Sony said they're going to have like 10 live service games earlier this year, and I would not be surprised if if Haven Studios was assisting in making that like a reality, because that's a lot of servers and that's a lot of support
Yeah.
to give.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely. I mean, with the Haven Studios coming on board, it should be real good for PlayStation, especially if with the 10 live service games. I wouldn't be surprised if they develop one of them, and good for Jade Raymond.
Hmm.
Hopefully they do good things with this acquisition. Some more Sony news that we got. Sony PlayStation introduces a new loyalty program called PlayStation Stars, and I think this is yeah, it's not not NFTs. Yeah, we'll get into that in a moment. But I mean, yeah, I couldn't resist. But yeah, I think this is going to be definitely pro consumer. I mean, they'll give you like digital like funds or something like that if you play just doing something or points. Yeah, by just doing something simple as playing a game and then just doing objectives throughout the months. And you will be able to get rewards on the PlayStation Store, and then I guess you can also use those points to get collectibles.
Hmm.
So now I guess with these collectibles, people thought that, hey, is Sony getting into the NFT, and they clarified by saying no, they are not. It's not. It's definitely not NFTs. Definitely not. You can't trade them or sell them. It is not leveraging any blockchain technology, and definitely not NFTs. So for now, but I mean,
Hmm.
um, what are you excited about this? Are you interested to see what rolls down later on the line with this?
No, no,
Wow.
I'm not. I I've already been part of PlayStation's like previous loyalty like programs, and they just kind of fizzle out and always disappear.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I'm not like I was. Man, this is like back with like the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. But
Oh, one of
I was
those. Oh, that's
originally
old.
like, yeah, like back with like the original like loyalty program, and then you got like official demos and try it out and stuff like that. It was almost like game tester, like it was almost like you're a free game tester, and then they would like ask you, like they sent you an email and you would provide like feedback through like email survey about games and things like that. They would send you like free swag, like physical swag.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I received like a couple things from PlayStation, yeah, and things like that. But no, I'm not particularly
Well, at least you're
excited
honest.
about their loyalty program. Like this is going to be digital rewards, so you might receive things. I don't know what you're going to get.
Well, they say
So
it's not. Well, they say it's not an NFT and it's not available for trade or sell or anything of that nature. I mean, am I excited about it? I just want to see. I mean, I think it's pro consumer. I mean, I wasn't deep in the PS1, even the PS2, even though I had them like you were. So I mean,
mhm.
like I wasn't like a member of like any of those programs back in the day. And I mean, I've seen stuff like this before. I mean, eventually, like it does, fizzle out. So I mean, but we're in a new day and age, and um, I mean, I just want to see what happens with it. I mean, we'll get more information later on this year. So
Yeah, it's not a bad thing by
yeah.
any means. Like
Mhm.
it's a way for those like diehards, like people that like do like getting trophies and like playing. It's a way
Yeah.
to get stuff. And then Microsoft has been doing something like this for years.
Yeah.
So, it's good to see like PlayStation is gonna have something similar. Where you play, you get trophies and you're rewarded for it. So I mean there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not particularly one of those people. I'm not a trophy hunter. I play games for the games. I don't play for, any other rewards than enjoying like a game, for, you know, 2 hours to 150 hours or 300 hours, however, like, that's the only reason why I play games. I just enjoy the games. I don't need any of the extras personally.
Yeah, yeah, well said. All right, last bit of PlayStation news. Stray. Well, I mean, I guess it's going to be going to PC next week along with PlayStation, but it will be getting a physical release later on this year in September, and I guess they will have I guess a deluxe edition or something like that where you can get bonus goodies such as a vinyl soundtrack and all that other good stuff. So yes, it's coming later this year. It's coming September 20th for the PS5 and the PS4 also. Exclusive will be 44.99. The regular one will be 39.99. I mean, this game is on my radar. I'm thinking about just
Mhm.
waiting until September to get in the physical version, but I mean, I do plan on
Mhm.
playing it. And I'm sorry for all you dog lovers out there. It could not be a dog. It has to be a cat. Okay.
Don't
And
worry though. There's dogs in the game. That is confirmed.
that
So
there is dogs in the game. Okay. Okay.
there's
Sounds
dogs in
good.
the game. Yeah, you have to run away.
Uh,
You got to run away from them.
so, what would you do? I mean, I would you if you really want to play this game, would you just wait for the physical version, or would you dip in just to get the digital, play it right away, then get the physical version later? Um,
Well,
I don't
I,
know.
I'm one of the lucky few. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna buy the physical version, but this is the third party day one release
Hmm.
for the PlayStation Plus subscribers. So
Yeah,
I am in the I don't know, I hate these tiers. I'm in the premium
yeah,
tier.
premium.
Yeah, so I get this game day one on July 19th to play. And yeah, I'm excited to play it. And then I will go out and buy the physical version as long as the game's not trash, which I don't believe it will be.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think it will be either, but I
well,
know for me, it's making me want to upgrade to the extra premium tiers now with this.
mhm.
But I mean, I'm not going to. But I mean,
I mean, just think about it though.
yeah,
Like, if you go up to the premium tier, it's going to
mm,
cost you like $40.
yeah.
It's going to cost you about $40 if you go to the premium tier. This game, how much does this game retail for? It's going to
But
retail
I want to
for
say 41.99 for digital
yeah.
copy.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's $39.99 for the at least for the physical edition that they're releasing, and then it's 44 for the other physical copy that's with the exclusive edition.
Mm,
So I mean, if you do buy either one of those copies, then it's already paying for itself.
yeah.
Um, so I mean, it's something to think about, but in the same and there's going to be other games. You pay
Yeah.
for a year, so there's going to probably be other games that are day one exclusives that are third party that might pay for themselves. But like it's one of those things. It's like Game Pass, this Netflix,
Yeah.
Amazon,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah.
Another
Like
subscription, like and
yeah,
it's like I mean, it's great that you get the games, but I'm just be real with you. I don't got time to be playing all those games. But I mean,
yeah.
I could be worth it. I mean, I know my current subscription expires in November, so I think they'll do something like what the Switch did. They'll give you a prorated rate if you just want to upgrade. So I
Mm-hmm.
could just do that and then just do the $60 later on down the line. So a lot to think about. I mean, we'll see. I'm not gonna think too hard about it, but just so you guys know, Stray, if you guys are interested, for you physical collectors out there, physical releases coming this September. All right. Any more PlayStation news you want to talk about before moving on to Nintendo?
Let's see. I mean, I kind of didn't answer your question. I answered it, non-answered it. But just in regards to your question directly, yeah, I mean, because we're seeing this a lot more often. We're seeing like digital copies get released, and then we're seeing physical copies released later. We're seeing this with Ninja Turtles, and this tends to happen more with smaller games. Usually, it doesn't happen with Triple A's. But
Hmm.
there's even other games that we're seeing not released at all physically. And yeah, man, like I know we're going to talk about this more later, but
Yeah.
if I wasn't getting the game on PlayStation Plus, I would do one of two things.
Mm.
For certain games, like if it's like a game big enough, like that I'm like really hyped for, I'd purchase it right off the bat, like purchase it usually digitally, and then I'll go back and purchase the physical edition later.
Yeah.
Especially in instances like this, and I'll just purchase it like when it's like maybe like a year later, 2 years later when it's discounted, or I will just purchase. I'll just purchase the physical when it's ready. But it just depends on the game. So tomato tomato. But I usually for a lot of games I purchased both. For like the top game, like my top games I purchased both. So like God of War, I have both physically and digitally. Final Fantasy VII, I have both digitally and physically. And there's like quite a few games that I have like just both. Because I
Mm-hmm.
purchased digitally first, and then I purchased physically at a later point.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. So, yep. I think after you saying that, I think I know what I'm gonna do. But if it's I think I'll just download it digitally. If it's a great game, I'll get the physical copy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and just so you guys know, I am 8-bit is the one taking care of the physical releases, and you
Hmm.
should be able to get it on Amazon if you guys are interested. We'll leave a link to the article in the show notes if you guys are more interested in wanting a physical copy. All right, let's switch gears here. Go to Nintendo. It looks like they really are serious about getting into the motion picture business as they buy an animation studio and form Nintendo Pictures. They are
Hmm.
buying the studio Dynamo Pictures. They've been responsible for things such as let me see. Yeah, I can't see any of their
Yeah,
things here.
Dynamo. They've done Ghost in the Shell on Netflix.
Yeah,
Um,
Yuri on Ice. Yeah, they did
yep.
that, and then the Pikmin short movies. That's what they also did. So yeah, it looks like they are a little more serious about getting into the motion picture business, especially with Sony doing Uncharted and Last of Us series. The Twisted Metal franchise also, and then of course, Sega and Sonic is killing it right now. So
Hmm.
I mean, what? So is this? I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Is this a good acquisition for Nintendo? You feel?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Nintendo. Like as long as Nintendo's been around and as many games that they've put out, they're still a relatively small studio.
Mm-hmm.
So with them licensing out their characters, with them building theme parks, and this is their second acquisition for the year. They've been
Yeah,
relatively small acquisitions compared to PlayStation, Xbox. This is a great acquisition. So the only thing I would say is like I hope Dynamo still can make the other things that they're still make other IPs and working on their IPs as they're working with Nintendo. Like I don't want Dynamo to be like all Nintendo all the time because they do
yeah,
some great work. Like they're doing an Ace Attorney VR game. Like I
yeah.
said, they like did Ghost in the Shell for Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and then they've done some other games like I don't know.
I
I
think
want to
it's
say Pocket Monsters, but it's not
uh,
Pocket Monsters. But anyway, um, yeah, they've done a lot. They've done a lot of different work. So, and they've been doing it for 30 years. They've been working at the CD like a CD. I'm sorry, CG production business for about 30 years. So, this is going to be good for Nintendo, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they do, like what Dynamo is able to do with their IPs. I think that's going to be awesome. I can guarantee we're going to see a Kirby, show on Netflix, and probably in the next 3 years.
Yeah, I want to see. Hopefully they can do maybe a Donkey Kong or
Yeah,
Legend of Zelda. But do you think there's going to be like a new Nintendo universe, cinematic universe, like Marvel has with?
maybe something not that like expansive, but
Uh,
yeah, and we're definitely gonna get cartoons and shows and even more Nintendo video games, like
yeah.
um, because I mean this company does everything. This company does. They do 3D animated cartoons, they do commercials, they do movies, they do VR. So it's really all encompassing. So I mean, that's all going to be available to Nintendo. So yeah, we're gonna get a lot more and a lot like a good variety of new Nintendo IP.
All right, yeah, for sure. And then my last question for you: do you see other gaming studios following doing something like this? I mean, we talked about earlier this year, Capcom and Mega Man, Sega. I mean, do you think we can see any more video games going to their own show or the big screen, like say Konami and Metal Gear, or uh,
You
that
know,
just
yeah, I mean, we're always gonna get people like leasing out their IPs. Like, yeah, could we get like a Metal Gear game or a cartoon or
or
movie
movie?
or
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be
absolutely. But
incredible.
it's mostly most of the time it's not going to happen in house.
Yeah,
So like this is now Nintendo's in-house company.
yeah,
And that's going to be the biggest difference. Like, yeah, we can see that other stuff, but it's going to be like leased out to third parties, and it's not going to be all internal. We're not going to see like Konami or whoever else purchase an animation studio, and then see them make movies and things like that. This is very much a Nintendo move, because Nintendo has the characters to really pull this off.
Yeah.
Sony, with them making Sony Studios, Sony has the characters to pull this off.
Mm.
Microsoft, they don't have really like a Microsoft, you know,
Halo. Well,
animation, and they don't, yeah, they don't. That was
CFD.
yeah. Microsoft isn't there yet, but Microsoft's working on getting
Yeah.
there. I just
Uh,
don't think Microsoft's going to be there this generation. Maybe,
maybe the
maybe we
next 10
get,
years.
yeah, Microsoft hasn't really focused on creating new IPs. And the new IPs that they have, worked on creating, they've kind of fallen through. And then
Mm.
like all these other video game developers, like they're developers, they're
Yeah.
not, my Nintendo's a developer and publisher. So
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I think what Microsoft is, they just been buying studios, but they gotta concentrate on like that next big IP if they want to really draw people in. And right now, I just don't see it there.
yeah.
I mean, I'm just being real. Um, all right, so Nintendo also had two big announcements this week. Well, I guess one big announcement, one just I guess okay announcement. The first announcement is another Kirby game is coming to the Switch. It's coming sometime this summer. I don't think there is a release date. It's I guess a Fall Guys style type game. It's called Kirby's Dream Buffet, and it looks all right. I mean, I didn't really get into the whole Fall Guys thing, but it's been a big year for Kirby. The Kirby and the Forgotten Land which came out back in March. Really good game, and they got this coming out now. So, I mean, does it look exciting? I mean, I guess if you're a big Kirby fan and your kids like Kirby or something. I guess it's the alternative to Fall Guys, in my opinion. You got any thoughts on this announcement, F? Oh, here we go. Here's the trailer.
Um, Yeah, no, I mean, it looks, actually, I think it looks better than Fall Guys, because it seems like there's more variety.
Hmm.
It's like Fall Guys along with like Kirby the actual game.
Yeah.
Kirby's Forgotten Lands, that was released
Uh,
earlier this year. We see some
yeah.
of those aspects. We also see, um what was the Mario's Bowser's Revenge? Like we see some of those elements,
Oh,
along with like Fall Guys. Like we see like a
Bowser's
lot of
Fury.
those. Yeah, Bowser's Fury. Yeah, we see a lot of those different elements within the game. So I think it's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be fun. I think, I also see some Mario Party in there. In
Yeah.
addition to that, so I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna be one of those fun games for just you and your friends to play, and that's where Nintendo thrives.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm excited for it. This trailer got me like relatively hyped. I'm just like, wow, I would definitely play this. Especially like, with my two boys and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like I'd be really down to play. Like let's all grab some Joy Cons and get down on this game together, because it looks like a lot of fun.
All
How
right.
about you?
For me, I mean, I'm not sure if it's free to play or, I mean, if it's a standalone game. I mean, I think it might be free to play, or I guess free if you have the Switch, I guess. I'm not too
Hmm.
sure, but I know they are going to be doing some more Kirby announcements throughout this year, since it is its 30th anniversary this year, apparently. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. Kirby's Dream Land came out in 1992. Wow, that was 30 years ago. Okay, so yeah, 30 years of Kirby. So looks like they definitely are showing the little pink guy some love. Now, I do have
Hmm.
a question about Kirby, and one of my coworkers, I guess she really likes Kirby. We were chatting it up a little bit about Kirby, and she asked me, "Is Kirby a guy or a girl?" Um,
Neither.
okay, I think
Okay.
it's a guy, but I don't know, I could be wrong.
Kirby is gender neutral. Kirby refers to himself as a they or a it
Yeah,
or a them.
I don't know. I figured you would know since you've played way more Kirby games than I have throughout our gaming lifetime. So
Kirby
I
is
was just curious.
asexual. Yeah,
Asexual.
asexual. So,
All
do you
right.
see any genitalia between those legs? No, no. Kirby
Okay.
doesn't discriminate. Kirby eats everyone.
Yeah, and spits it out. I still think it's
Sorry.
a little. I still think it's a little funny how Kirby was in Link's Awakening,
Yeah.
just out of nowhere, just like, oh, there's Kirby or fake Kirby or bad Kirby. It's just funny. I don't know if you ever played Link's Awakening back in the day, but
Mhm.
it's just I think it's funny how it was just randomly in the game. Well, that and a bunch of other Nintendo
I think
characters.
I still don't see why Nintendo has not made more cross character games. Like,
Yeah,
like they have like all these different IPs, but they don't share them really in universes. Like every once in a while they make an appearance like in
yeah.
each other's games, but I mean, I feel like they need to take advantage of that, you
Yeah,
know?
you think they would. I think Mario Kart is the closest example we've gotten to it over the years. I mean, they have Link. You could do some of the Captain Falcon courses in Mario Kart, and then, of course, some of the skins that you can use. So
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
why
it's a gold
many people,
mine.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
people love those types of games. They're just like, oh yeah, like, I get to be Zelda and and I don't know, whatever
yeah,
game, but yeah, I think they need to do more of that. And I mean, Smash, of course, Smash and Mario Kart
yeah,
are the biggest examples of that. I
yeah.
think Nintendo should really capitalize on that. So if Nintendo, you're listening, which I know you're not, there you go. Do more of that.
Do more of that. Okay, so not another big announcement that I think everyone's ready for. Bayonetta 3. It finally got a
Mm.
release date, people, and it's not being postponed to 2023. It is coming out October 28th, 2022. October is gonna be
Ooh.
October is gonna be stacked. October is gonna be stacked, and looking at the preview, the trailer for your opponent. Okay, good. I think this could be a game of the year candidate, if you ask me. This preview,
I don't know about that one, but
I mean, it looked good. It looked good.
Bayonetta is always looked pretty good. I mean, and the gameplay's always been fun. Just it's never like it has its fan club, like in its crowd, but as a game of the year candidate, I mean, it's going to be more of the same Bayonetta, and especially since it's only released on the Switch, is I'm sure it's not going to be doing anything revolutionary.
Yeah,
But yeah, I game of the year probably not. Probably
a
maybe yeah,
nomination. That's what I meant.
yeah. It might be the best game on the Switch this year. I mean, minus Kirby. I don't know. Like, those two can go head to head. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a strong phrase for game of the year.
All right. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what else comes out the rest of the year. I mean, we still have
Have you played
five.
Bayonetta 1 and 2?
No, I have not.
Okay,
But I
yeah.
mean,
I haven't played 2 since it was on the Switch, but I played 1 and I loved 1 and I couldn't wait for 2.
mm,
Um, and then yeah, then what's it called? Nintendo, you know, paid to publish
yeah,
the game, so then it only came out to Switch, so
mm,
which was pretty devastating. I think this franchise needs as much love as possible, and I think it should be on
yeah.
multiple consoles. But I'm glad I got a third one. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I see the dog from Astral Chain, and just
it's
yeah,
just a
just
Shiba Inu. Yeah, that's my
yeah.
dog.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, Platinum Games. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the same universes or whatnot, but
yeah.
I mean, so far so good. I mean, I've been impressed with what I've seen, and just if I really want to dip into it, I mean, maybe I'll give Bayonetta 1 and 2 a shot. I mean, right now is backlog season, so
Yeah, I mean Bayonetta's like $9 on the PlayStation Store, so it's like 9.99 or whatever. So yeah,
yeah,
easy pickup. They have like a Vanquish Bayonetta package at that. So if you want to get like Vanquish also and Bayonetta, you can definitely do that. But yeah, this Bayonetta looks really cool. Yeah, I'm glad like in this one you can kind of like your summons. Your hair is your weapon, so your hair becomes like these giant like creatures. Like you can become your summons, and she's a witch, so yeah,
mm,
she's just been slowly like transforming, and like before it used just to be limbs, it used just be arm or a leg or a mouth. But yeah, in this one, like as you can see, like it's a giant kaiju battle, and I'm so oh, man. I really want to play this one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bayonetta is a great game. Love
Well,
it.
if you really want to play it, you could always buy a Switch.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I will one day. The other aspect to this is they're adding a. It's called Naive Angels mode. I don't know if you
Hmm.
saw that. And the Naive Angels mode, it takes away nudity from the game, which
Oh yeah, I
is
saw that. I saw that.
yeah, yeah, because yeah, when she's doing her summon, she's like completely nude, and then her
Hmm.
hair is like circling around her. But since it's on the Switch, I'm sure Nintendo was like, "Hey, we need you to add a mode. You know, we don't want you to take away from what the game has done, but you need to cover her up." And so,
Yeah, well, I
yeah,
mean, you could take it off or turn it on or turn it off. I mean, it's up to you. But
yeah,
I mean, Nintendo has gone a little more like loosening up over the years.
yeah.
Like allowing Night Trap to come to the system, that remake. But they do have that family friendly image they do want to maintain. So it's
Which is
like,
hilarious because if you go to
mm,
the Nintendo eShop, that thing is littered with littered with like Japanese like just just rated M games. It's kind of funny. It's actually really
yeah,
funny.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the eShop. I mean, like I said, they've gotten edgier over the years. So, I mean, but if it's published by them, they don't want to take any chances, like when it comes to that sort of thing. So,
hmm
all right. Last bit of Nintendo news. If this is a free game trial, so by the time you're listening to this or even watching this, it might be over. But if you are curious on how the MLB The Show runs on the Switch, well, you can download it for free from right now to um, let's see, July 21st, first 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. You can download a free trial of MLB The Show, and if you are interested in purchasing it, you can purchase it for 50% off, and that sale ends on 7/22 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. If you are going to do it, just make sure that it requires a download of at least 17 gigabytes. You might need a micro SD card, which is sold separately, but those shouldn't be too expensive these days. With that being said, you think do you think people should download the show and give it a try on the Switch if they really are curious to see how the game runs on the Switch?
yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, especially and if the Switch is like your only console, um, then yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you've seen anything about like how it's currently running on the Switch, but I haven't heard anything negative. Uh, but
Yeah, not
like
really.
the new person added to our Discord, like Sugoi Power, like the Switch is their only console. So I mean,
Mm,
like if like they're into only baseball, then or not only baseball, but if they're into baseball, yeah, then download it. Or if whoever's if you're just only into if you're into sports games, this is the one of the best. This is the best baseball game there is. So and you're not able to play it on the Switch, so I would say yeah, give it a shot.
yeah. Yeah, better than RBI baseball, if you know what I mean. But
hmm
yeah, I'm sure they did. I haven't heard really any complaints about this game running on the Switch. I mean, it just unless not a lot of people have bought it, which I think is the case. But just for the most part, I know they do dummy down these sports games so they can run on the Switch. But I mean, I think it is a good deal. But we're halfway through baseball season. I think for me, if I really want to play it, I'll just go and um, I'll probably just wait for an even bigger discount and probably get it on the PlayStation and just play it on there. I mean, that's just me. But I mean, if the Switch is your only console, I think this is kind of a sweet deal right now, especially if you are into sports and love baseball. And um, I mean, for those of you that do play baseball games on the Switch, this is better than RBI baseball. I'm just letting you know that right now. Just RBI baseball doesn't even come close. So, with that being said, game trial MLB The Show 22. Download it. It's free right now, up until the 21st of July. All right. So far, so good. We're rolling along. Now we are going to talk some other stories going on in the world of gaming. We're going to talk a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, both Shredder's Revenge and the Cowabunga Collection. Um, First, we'll start with Shredder's Revenge. Um, I'm very impressed when I read numbers like this. It has sold over 1 million copies the few weeks that it has been out so far. Shredder's Revenge, and I guess that's across all three platforms. Well, four if you include PC, because I believe it is available on Steam also. But just the PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, Steam. It's it's been doing real good, and for the most part, um, it's a great game. If you haven't played it, you definitely gotta check it out. Um, I guess some would argue that it may not be the best Turtles game ever, but if you're a big beat 'em up fan, I mean, unless you can think of another game that is better than this I think is arguably like the best beat 'em up I've ever played. So I mean, definitely give it a try, especially if you're a Turtles fan. I know some of y'all out there are probably waiting for that Cowabunga collection. I thought this game was just going to be average, but this is just great. Give this game a go. This can definitely hold you over until the Cowabunga collection, or you may be in the category of I don't really care to play the Cowabunga collection. All right, I think I've spoken enough about this 1 million copies. What are your thoughts, Finest? I think you're muted. You're muted, man. You're muted.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's definitely a must play. It's just an incredible brawler slash beat 'em up. So yeah, if you're into him, you should definitely pick it up. I would say definitely arguably the best. I definitely think there. I definitely have a couple other favorites out there. The only gripes I have about the game is the amount of levels and yeah, and then I guess that's really it, and maybe the variety in the levels. And I think I've
Mm,
spoken about this a little bit prior in earlier episodes. But yeah, those are my only two really gripes. But other than that, the sprites in this game are absolutely gorgeous. The soundtrack is wonderful. Soundtrack is so good, and yeah, overall, it's a great game. There's a ton of moves that you can
mm,
get within the game that does change up the gameplay as you
yeah.
continue to develop your turtle or your rat or your Casey Jones or April. But
Hero.
yeah, your hero. Yeah, so it's a great beat 'em up. I love it, and I have like just a section. I have like a row of just beat 'em ups in my library. So this is definitely one of the more fun ones. And yeah, I wish or I hope that they release DLC for the game to keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, over 1 million copies. You think they got to do something? I mean,
Mhm.
the artwork is wonderful. Soundtrack amazing. It's available on Spotify and Apple Music. If you guys love the music from the game, it definitely brings you back to that late '80s, early '90s vibe. And then, Ghostface, Killer, Raekwon on that Shredder battle track, and then Mega Ran, and yeah, just it's excellent. I mean, hopefully it is nominated for some awards. Definitely indie game of the year, best music. The artwork is amazing. I mean, I may be going
Mhm.
on a limb here. Hopefully, it gets a nomination for game of the year, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it. Of course, it's not winning game of the year,
It
but
won't though.
I would love to see a nomination. Like
Yeah,
if that happened, like that would be just amazing. Um, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen either. If I'm gonna be completely honest.
yeah, and then right now, my computer screen is going fuzzy right now. All right. Uh, Let me move some of this over. All right, so the next story we're gonna cover is looks like we got some news on the Cowabunga collection. I think PlayStation Underground put out a 9-minute video of some boss rush. Well, I don't know if it's boss rush or not, but bottom line, just the turtles beating up Rocksteady and Bebop, I guess.
Yeah,
But
I don't think it was boss rush. I
yeah,
think it was just the bosses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so well, mainly Rocksteady and Bebop. So, with that being said, so you can definitely check that out if you want to. We'll have a link, but definitely look like a pretty good video. You get to see just the old games and some of the Game Boy games, which I did not play early on. So with that being said, just yeah, the Cowabunga collection, and then they also put out like a real funny trailer, kind of like this one that we're watching on screen right now. But with that being said, it's just a bunch of turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a bunch of turtles, and I thought it was just funny. I thought like, what, Konami really put this out, but then like I saw that like it was like a joke or something, and then
Hmm.
they are going to be at what is it, Comic
Comic Con.
Con?
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, they will be at Comic Con, and just with that being said, um, them being at Comic Con,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
got
I mean,
anything else to say on it?
no, 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 no. I meant to say that they're gonna have some news. So hopefully, with this news, we get a release date. And that's the only thing I don't really like about like collections like these, or just like in general. Like they say coming in 2022, and it's just like give us a release date already. Like, come on, like what are you
Really? They don't
doing?
have a release date for this one?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think so. So I mean, hopefully we get one next week. Uh, so let's see. With that being said, um, all right, and then
Next.
yeah, next topic. My other screen is still like a little fuzzy right now, so
All right. Let me take it over for a second.
yeah.
So, for
Mm.
the next topic, Multiverses Open Beta launches this month. And for Multiverses is that WB game, Warner Brothers game. And yeah, right now they're currently just revamping the game to make sure when it releases, it's going to be fire, really. So with Multiverses beta coming out soon, do you see yourself playing when it comes out, Justin?
Multiverses, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to like the fighting games, but
Hmm.
I mean, we'll definitely. It has a great roster of characters, like Shaggy from Scooby Doo, Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny, um, and then the DC universe: Superman, Batman, Harley Quinn, Wonder Woman, just to name a few
Yeah.
characters there. I'm sure like a lot of it's going to be part of like a lot of tournaments and everything, so
Mhm.
we'll just have to sit back and see what. Um,
Oh, I lost Justin. All right, I guess I'm a solo show. Well, Multiverses is coming out July 26th. Yeah, like Justin was saying, there is plenty of characters that will be getting within this game. So, hey, welcome back. Welcome back. I was just talking about Multiverses a little bit and saying that, like, so far, all these Smash Brother likes. We got PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, we got Nickelodeon All Star Brawl. We're getting multiverses. None of them have really done it right. Everyone has been trying to copy Smash and that particular style. Hopefully, Multiverses takes some of those notes from Smash Brothers, and is able to really nail those mechanics in terms of gameplay and feel. Because if it's too floaty, if the hits don't like feel like there's like some crunch to them, people aren't going to be want to be engaged with it. But I do like the roster of characters in this game. How do you feel about it?
the roster I think is great, and I just think it's weird. I mean, hopefully they don't like OP the DC guys over the rest of the whole Warner Brothers lineup, but I don't think they will. But they just got to make it fair, I guess.
Hmm.
So I mean that's just that, but I mean it's going to be part of like tournaments and stuff like that. With like, among these games like Super Smash Brothers, the Nickelodeon All Star Brawl, PlayStation Battle Royale, just all those. So with that being said, um, just should be pretty good in terms of what we see from the game. But I mean, if you're a fan of these types of games, you should be very excited. So Moving on. Uh, Aliens. A new Aliens game is coming to Unreal Engine. I'm not sure what console it's coming to, but it's not to be confused with the Aliens Fire Team Elite and the upcoming Aliens Dark Descent that was announced at Summer Game Fest. But um, 20th Century Games has announced a new Unreal 5 powered single player Aliens adventure is on the way. How do you think a game will look in Unreal Engine 5 with Aliens, Finest?
I mean, that's an easy question. I think it's gonna look gorgeous. Have you seen like the tech demos for Unreal 5 so far? I
I
mean,
mean,
they've
well,
been.
we seen the few that we've seen. I mean, we there was nothing really for this game, but
Hmm.
for the most part, I mean, from what I've seen so far, I mean, they can do incredible things with aliens. At least I think.
I know. I
So,
mean, if it's anything like Alien Isolation, and it's a single player like Aliens game, I think it's gonna be absolutely great. Aliens has had a lot of. I mean, in all the games made, like they haven't been. There's been a lot of Aliens games, and they all haven't been, that great, and they haven't been fire. So I'm, looking forward to see what Survios or Servios, the developer, does to see what they do with Aliens. And they've made a couple okay games. Like they've made what like Big Rumble, Kree Champions, and The Walking Dead Onslaught and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see what this developer can do with the Aliens IP.
all right, and then last bit of news for our gaming news call outs. Finance did not want to talk about this a few weeks back when I was preparing one of the outlines for one of the episodes, and
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
asked.
whoa, whoa. Hey, that's messed up, man. Throwing me under the
uh,
bus like that.
all right. Okay, okay.
I didn't want to talk about it because I knew it was coming out this week.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to put it that way, all right. I know some people were worried that the Genesis, well, not Genesis, Sega Mega Drive Mini 2 that had been announced. A lot of people wondering, is it coming west? Is it coming, stateside? Your answers have been answered. Yes, it is. It is coming. Yes, the Genesis 2 Mini and or Mini 2 or 2 Mini Genesis Mini 2. I don't
Mega
know, but
Drive 2, Sega Genesis Mini 2. It's
yeah,
so many names. Yeah.
yeah, so many names, but yeah, a second Genesis Mini is coming to, it's coming stateside, and I guess Amazon leaked it during its Prime Day or something, but looks
Hmm.
like it's gonna be a Amazon exclusive. It is releasing October 27th. You can pre-order it now. I believe it is $99. I could be wrong. It's probably going to be a little more with shipping since it is coming from Amazon Japan. So here are the full list of games, and some of these are Sega CD games. So just be ready: Afterburner 2, Alien Soldier, Bonanza Brothers, Fantasy Zone. See, which is a new Genesis port. Yeah, we are going to be getting some unreleased games with this too. Lightning Force, Mansion of Hidden Souls, which was on the Sega CD, Night Striker, which was on the Sega CD, the Ninja Warriors Sega CD version. That game looks terrible. Just stick with the Super NES one or the Ninja Savior game that came out a few years ago. Outrunners, Rainbow Islands Extra, Rolling Thunder 2, Shining Force CD, Shining in the Darkness, Slip Heat, which was on the Sega CD, Sonic 3D Blast, which I could never get past the first level of that game. It looks real fun though. Sonic CD, Splatterhouse 2, Star Mobile, which is another Genesis port, which was previously on the PC Engine. Super Hang On, The Ooze, which I think is a very weird game, Vector Man 2, and then Virtual Racing. I know you're happy with Vector Man 2. Looks like it is going to be with the price of, so I said $99. I lied. $103, and shipping from Japan is going to be about $22. So it's looking like it's going to be about 125, almost 130 altogether. If you do want to get this. It's going to have over 50 games, so not all the games have been announced yet. I don't think we will see any repeats of what we saw on the first Genesis Mini. As you can see with the picture, this is the second version of the Genesis, which I think looks a little better than the original version. And you're getting a 6 button controller this time.
6 buttons, woo!
Thank God.
Celebrations.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, well, they have the Sega CD games, and I think a lot of those games did require
Oh yeah.
the 6 button one. Um, what are your thoughts? I mean, can retro gamers celebrate with this one?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I mean, once again, these games for a long time have been accessible through other means.
Yeah,
It's great to see that Sega's releasing more mini consoles. I think just having a mini console, like a one place to go to get like all those retro games, and you still get like that feel and that look of the old consoles is great. It really just takes you back, especially if you grew up with these consoles. So I'm excited to see it come to the States. That price tag though, like we don't know the price yet. Like that's just the estimated price tag. Like the Japan listing is listed for that $103 that you talked about, and
yeah. It keeps
then
it keeps fluctuating. Like I heard it was 99 at one point. At another point,
yeah,
I heard it keeps going like up and down.
yeah,
I think that shipping is what kills it. I mean, you could just wait till it gets to like the stores because I know like the other Genesis Mini, it was readily available in stores. If you wanted one, you could have one.
yeah. But even
I think,
those now are like relatively pretty expensive if you like try to buy like buy
yeah,
them right now. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to be able to kind of plug another console into my setup and have that available anytime, or if like a couple of years, like I said, like my sons are going to be able to play video games. So I'll be happy to like plug one of these mini consoles into their system, be like, you got to play these games before you get like those better consoles. So yeah, I like
yeah,
having them readily available and being able to play my HD TVs without having to use one of my projection CRT TVs.
yeah. So I mean, it looks good. I mean, I do want it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but yeah, that price tag, $100 and shipping. The shipping is what like kind of kills it for me. Like, if it was
Yeah,
like 80 with shipping, I think that'd be fair because the other one retailed about $80. I don't know. It's I'm really going to have to think about this one. I mean, I want it. I really do want it, but I mean, we'll just have to wait and see.
as for as much as you talked about it and throwing me under the bus earlier, you think that this would have been a day one buy for you
It still
since
might
you would
be.
have talked about it on every podcast.
Well, hey, don't blame me. Sega finds a way to get back on the show every time. I don't know, like whether it be talking about Sonic, whether we're talking about
Mhm.
other games that they're putting on the Switch. I mean, and it seems like most of the time when we talk about Sega, we're talking about their old game.
I mean,
I mean, most of the time, not all the time.
that's their bread and butter. If anything, Nintendo can make learn a few things. I mean, of course, Nintendo's the one that first started the mini console revolution, but
Yeah, I'll give them that much, but
we haven't seen anything from them since. And making limited quantities of those mini consoles, I feel like was just a ridiculous move. Like they made them so they're hot in demand, but that helps the
mhm,
resale market. If you make a limited edition thing, like that's not
yeah,
helping the developer or the person like developing or these mini consoles. They should have made them way more readily available so people can purchase them and not make limited quantities. Because I don't think Nintendo's in the resale market from from what I know.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. I mean, it's gonna be awesome regardless.
yeah. It will be awesome. So, with that being said, if you do plan on picking it up, I mean, great. I mean, I just wish Nintendo would do more of these. I don't think they will, especially with their online. But we'll just have to wait and see. You never know with them. It's Nintendo. I mean, I think it is exciting news for those Genesis fans out there, especially if you're a kid growing up with the Genesis. All right. So with that being said, we get down to our main discussion this week, and it is with Assassin's Creed and Steam, and just games getting delisted in general, which at least has me and maybe the rest of the gaming world just worried. So here's the situation. Looks like Ubisoft did come in and clean some of the stuff up, but well, looks like there was more damage control, but pretty much Assassin's Creed Liberation had been delisted apparently. So it looks like it had gotten delisted, and if you had bought in the game, you couldn't download it anymore, and you didn't have any access to any of the DLC or the online features of Assassin's Creed Liberation. Let's see. Since then, they Ubisoft did come in and pretty much said that only DLC and online features will be affected by the upcoming decommissioning. Current owners of these games will still be able to access, play, or re-download them. That is what the publisher said, and then pretty much they just said that their teams are working with their partners to update this information across all storefronts and are also accessing all available options for players who will be impacted when these games' online services are decommissioned on September 1st of later this year. It has always been our intention to do everything in our power to allow these legacy titles to remain available in the best possible conditions for players, and this is what we are working towards. The Ubisoft and Steam have updated the language on the page to reflect this, so it sounds like to me either this wasn't made clear to the customers on the Steam front, or that or they did, or they just made a big boo boo and just yeah. I mean, because apparently the game was delisted, so
Yeah.
that was already confirmed. So um, I thought this was going to be real interesting. So I came up with a couple of focus questions here. How do you feel about games being delisted for games that we already own, regardless of whatever platform it's on, whether it be Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft? Um, do you feel if you own the game and it's delisted and you can't download it again? What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? Obviously, I'm not happy about it. I talked about this on previous episodes, but
Yeah,
it's kind of the thing that we signed up for with the digital future. We want to be able to download games, and we want them to be more accessible and ready to go on our consoles. We want to be able to fire up our consoles and go like in a couple seconds. Which is something that we've definitely been asking for. But in the same sense, since games are not since we're not buying games physically anymore or as much, and we got this digital future, we're leasing these games.
that
Which
scares
is
me.
which is the thing. You don't own the game anymore. You just have the game, and it's accessible to you for however long it's able to be leased. And I think that's the part that's rough. Like if with Steam was like to be like, hey, we're done. We're closing down our business, and PlayStation was like, oh, we're closing down our online store, and all these other companies just, or the servers are too expensive, whatever the case, you would lose access to all those games that you purchased. And that's sad. Like that is so rough.
That's
And
money down the toilet, if you ask me.
yeah, it is, and that's why I buy all my games. Like I buy them digitally, and then I buy them physically. And even with the physical games, a lot of them, they all have to, not all of them, but a lot of them have to ping off an online server. And if they can't ping to that server, then you can't play them. There's a lot of games that you cannot play. We had this problem with Gran Turismo earlier this year.
Hmm.
Gran Turismo,
Yeah,
is a single player racing game. But since it had to connect to the servers were down for a day. No one can play their game for a day.
yeah,
And this is the
that's
future that we've kind of signed up for, and it's really devastating. And I don't know. What do you think, man? How do you feel about this?
it definitely scares me. Hold on a sec.
He's grabbing, for those audio listeners. He's grabbing something from his drawer. I don't
All
know what
right,
it is.
Turtles in Time was the first Super NES game I saw.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a clone console or the regular console. I could play the game. I don't got to worry about updates or anything like that, or it getting decommissioned online. Bottom line, if you have a clone console or a Super Nintendo, it still works.
Hmm.
You can't. I mean, even if you have like something just more recent, like Shredder's Revenge, for instance, if it requires online updates and like DLC later on down the line, who knows, that could be, it could be a possibility that, hey, if Dot Emu or Tribute Games just falls under, goes out of business, hey, we're removing this from our online store. That's a scary thought, and that's where game preservation is really important here. It's like we gotta preserve, not only the older games but the newer games as well. So, and just finally pulled up a list of delisted games here on the screen. Don't see the name, but yeah, just it's a scary thought, and just playing video games are fun, but I mean, I'll be the first to tell you that the hobby's not cheap, whether
Yeah.
you play them or collect them. But I
Yeah. Video
mean,
video gaming is definitely not cheap. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So it's just years of people's hard work and your hard-earned money going into this, and just to be told that you can't play a game anymore
Hmm.
it's just devastating in my
Yeah.
opinion. But
And
I
I
mean,
think it really falls onto the companies to make them available. I mean, this is why piracy is so big,
yeah,
because they delist games and they don't make them available anywhere else. Nintendo's obviously notorious for this. And it's a tragedy that, like, you just that, like, you create a means where it's only available online, and then you just rip that away. And yeah, I created this, like, this little image of delisted games over the years that are no longer accessible. So if you're an audio listener, please jump onto our YouTube channel and view it. But just some of the games is Scott Pilgrim has actually been re-released, so
hmm,
that one's no longer delisted, but that one was delisted for several years. And that
yeah,
one was like, people actually fought for that game to be re-released, and that's why it's here. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was on the PS3, which was delisted. That game retails for like $250 now. The cheapest you can probably find it is about 100 for resale. If you find it for the Dreamcast, like, it's super expensive. But then we have like other games like PT. I mean, PT, like, I had it in my library, and then it got delisted. Um, well, let me rephrase. I downloaded it to my console. I deleted it, so it was just in my library. But since it was in my library, I couldn't re-download it again. At least with Assassin's Creed Liberation, like, if like you delete it, like, you still have the game, like, you're still able to download it. And that's like there's this crazy like in between where some games you'll be able to download still, some you won't. The online features still aren't accessible. On my little delisted games chart, I have like Deadpool. I got Punch Out. I got the Ninja Turtles Manhattan Project, I believe it was called, Tron.
I
You
think
know,
it is Manhattan actually. Manhattan
yeah.
Project, that was on the NES.
Okay. Well, yeah, whatever. But the games are here. I should have included the names, but I didn't have a lot of room. Um, yeah, what? And then let's see. I'm looking at the chat right now, and Autumn posted something that says, "I think it's smart for companies to do this because it does free up servers for newer titles and encourage consumers to purchase newer games." Which
I
I
kind of
do
disagree
agree.
there.
I do agree with, in a sense. But in terms of like freeing up space, like, if you're already having like libraries with like thousands and thousands of games, like, it's a little bit different. And oftentimes games aren't delisted because of space. They're delisted for music, like, they have licensed music in them, so
Jet
they
Set
they
Radio.
yeah, they delist the game. A publisher goes under or a contract runs out. They delist the game. They delist the game because of, I don't know. There's a couple. I would just say search delisted games, and there's actually some crazy stories about why games have been delisted, but it's oftentimes not because of server space. It's pretty much, it, it's almost like not inconsequential when you have, like, when you're delisting like one game and things of that nature, compared to when you have like thousands. It really doesn't matter at that point. But yeah, it's sad. It's kind of devastating.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like Assassin's Creed in general, just going back to the topic, um, yeah, I think this is partly due to Sony and their PlayStation Plus, and them
Mm-hmm.
getting like all the Assassin's Creed games that
Yeah.
are soon going to be dropped on the new PlayStation Plus. So I think they delisted them for those reasons. And then we also saw like the same thing happen with Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic, they came out with a new game, so they
Sonic
they
Origins.
saw the Sonic Origin, so they just delisted like all the games everywhere else and made them more difficult for people to get their hands on. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to go into. There's a lot to cover. But any other thoughts that you have?
Yeah. Well, I have really one more question. But I mean, I know for me, yeah, it's just a sad thing. But one more question I had. I'll just do a little of the last question I wrote here. What percentage of the community do you feel has embraced the digital age, or do you think they still prefer physical? Like just a ballpark figure on like digital versus physical. Like,
Oh, I think it's people that have embraced digital. I think it's probably like a 70-30 split now. I think
mm,
most of the market is going digital. A lot of people don't want, or don't have room for, hundreds of games and like piling up their in their living rooms, or in their garages and things like that. Or nor do they want it. We saw this with VHS tapes and 8 tracks and things like and CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays, and we saw that we saw just those markets kind of disappear and go digital. And then I think
mm,
we've seen that within the video game market. We're currently experiencing that right now. You really can't go
yeah,
out and buy a cassette tape or a DVD or a VHS anymore. Like, it's really not, it's non-existent. And very soon, in a very near future, that's going to happen with
yeah,
video games, and we're kind of already seeing that. And that's why companies like GameStop are suffering so much, because
yeah,
so much
yeah.
of
I
it can't
mean,
be
yeah.
done digitally.
Yeah, we talked about it last week too with GameStop. And like, they want to embrace the all digital age. And I mean, I feel, I mean, I know the people who love the physical stuff is a little bit on the downer side now. I want to say the split for me would be like 40-60. I know the digital age is winning. I know like a lot of people who I do game with online prefer their games digital, and they don't have the room for all that physical media. But this is what I was trying to do last week. I know I kind of flirted around with it a bit, with Sony, delisting those movies in certain regions because of a licensing issue. So it's
Hmm.
kind of the same thing with video games, just
Yeah, oftentimes it
it
is a licensing
sucks.
issue. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it sucks, but I mean, even I don't want to come home one day and play a game and be told, even though you purchased this game, you cannot play it digitally. And
Mhm.
and like a lot of physical games we do get now, I mean, unless it's like a retro collection or something like that. I mean, let's be real. I mean, it's probably going to need a patch day one update or something like that, and
Yeah.
then anything with DLC. I mean, you can forget it. I know. I could tell you recently, like I told you how like I sold all my PS3 well, a lot of my PS3 games and wiped out my hard drive, and then I had that remorse, like, hey, I want to get all the stuff back again. It
Yeah.
is. I was so thankful that you can go back into the PlayStation Store and re-download all your previous purchases, like DLC,
Mhm.
especially like with those old WWE games I had. It took a long time, but I finally
Yeah,
got it
it
all
take a really
back.
long time.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you got to get the game and all that stuff. But just like if you are gonna do something like that, don't be like me. Just really think about like, do you need this anymore? Do you want to preserve this? Do you want to go back
Mhm.
and play some of your old games? And it's just like, I know at the time it was just like wasn't making a whole lot of money. I usually sold games to get newer games, all that kind of stuff. But I make a little more money now. Just like in terms, if I do play a game, unless it's a game I absolutely don't like or don't have any intention like on playing at all, that's when I will sell it to GameStop or a friend or a mom and pop spot or something like that. But just yeah, it's the
Yeah.
digital age. I think it's coming. I mean, I think it's closer. than we would like for it to accept. I mean, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I don't think it's happening this generation, but next generation, I could honestly see like PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo putting out consoles that don't have disk drives or cartridge drives or whatever whatever you want to call them. But I mean, people said that of last generation. People said that with the PlayStation 3. People said that with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox. Same thing. Xbox, very much.
360, the One
Yeah.
S.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The 360 and yeah, the One S and everything and the One X. So the same thing that like those. They said physical's dead. Physical's dead. Physical's dead. And we're still in a generation where physical is viable, but in the next generation, and like whether that be like 5 to 10 years or whenever that happens, I can very much see like that generation being finally here where there is no physical, or physical is more of a niche thing that
Mm,
collectors like you and I do. But I can see
yeah,
very much the consoles not having disk drives for the majority.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of a scary thing. All right. One more discussion topic that I kind of want to go over, and then I don't. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed. We really don't talk too many rumors on this show, but I mean, we got another article, and people have been speculating, and just
Yeah,
like with
let's
the
just go for a quick minute. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I guess Nintendo will release a Switch Pro later this year with 4K gaming support. Um, I'm not even going to talk about the source or anything. Do you think a Nintendo Switch Pro is coming later this year, or yeah, or sometime next year? Are we going to see the Switch 2 anytime soon? What are your thoughts?
I mean, every news outlet has been beating this topic into the floor for the last like 5 years. Do I think it's coming out this year? No. Is it going to
No,
happen? Yes.
you think it won't
But
happen?
what are your thoughts?
Uh, I don't think we're getting a Switch Pro this year. We might. I think we will see another iteration of the Switch that is more powerful, and I'm talking more powerful than just more longer battery life. I think we will see something that can do 4K gaming and do all that great stuff um, before the end of this generation. But I just don't see it happening this year, and just I think we'll get that before we get the next Switch, the Switch 2 or the new Switch, or whatever the hell they want to call it. But I mean, hopefully, if they do come out with the Switch 2, hopefully it does have backwards compatibility with the current Switch. I mean, I think
Mhm.
backwards compatibility is very important in this day and age. Just people don't like buying a bunch of consoles like here and there and all that good stuff. So we'll just have to wait and see what goes on with that.
Mhm. Yep. Agreed. All right.
Uh,
Quick. That was quick.
yeah, that was quick. I mean, we figured we'd talk about it because I know we don't really talk much rumors on this show, but this is like, why not? All right. Actually, before we get into the release rundown, I found an article this morning that was kind of funny. Find this if you want to pull it up. It was from comicbook.com. It was talking about the God of War release date. Apparently, a trailer came out with the date that you had selected. And
Yeah.
then they it looks like they backpedaled on it, and I I, I don't know. I'm starting to think now that they had every intention on putting that game God of War Ragnarok on November 11th, the same day that Starfield was supposed to come out. Again, what day of the week is the ninth? The ninth is a what, Wednesday, or yeah, November 9th. That is a Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the 11th would have made more sense because usually Tuesdays and Fridays, like you said last week, are usually the
Hmm.
days that big AAA games releases come out.
Yeah.
Anything else during the other days of the week is usually just independent releases or like retro collections or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, this is yeah, they just straight up. I don't know, like, but I mean, Finest called it.
You know what? I like I said, PlayStation listens to this episode. They wanted to make me look like a fool because they get a nice little laugh about it. every week. But yeah, no, it was. I think it's the greatest part about this is like they put out the trailer on accident, and then they just like delete it as quickly as possible, and then it was just captured all over the internet. Like it just, like, you have to to work a lot quicker. PlayStation, like if you make a mistake, like you have to be a lot quicker because people will catch it. But yeah, man, it was so weird that they said it was going to come out 11/9. That's where I immediately know there's like that does not seem intentional, like at least immediately intentional. But as I said last week, it only makes sense for them to do that because you don't want people talking about like, oh, PlayStation's knocking it to Microsoft and they're stealing that Starfield dates and Starfield got pushed back. Another point for PlayStation, and then really pushing those console wars even further.
I mean, it is going to get pushed even further because it's coming out the same week. I think the same week was even bad enough for them. So, but the day
Yeah,
would have really
but
been sticking it to them.
nothing was coming out in November. So I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense, you know. So, but yeah, I think it's great that we officially know that God of War at some point did have an 11/11 release date. PlayStation made trailers with the 11/11 release date, and then they walked it back, and then they came out with the PlayStation release date in a Twitter post with 11/9 instead of 11/11. So I think that's absolutely amazing, and hilarious. Yeah.
It'd be real funny if they delayed the game from November 9th to November 11th.
I mean,
That would
it's
be
it,
hilarious.
it's kind of inconsequential at this point. Like it doesn't even matter. But it's absolutely. I hope everyone is laughing about this as much as I am. But just remember, this was the first place that said God of War was going to come out 11/11, and no one believed me. No one believed it was coming out this year. And yeah, it is not only coming out this year, but it is also not being released on 11/11 anymore. But it's being
Yeah.
released on 11/9. But yeah, hilarious. Thank you for finding this article this morning. You definitely put a smile on my face. So please
Yeah.
come here for your gaming news.
Yeah, definitely. All right. All right. So we're gonna go through the release rundown of next week, and then we'll do comments. Yeah, my favorite part of the show. All right. So the release rundown. First, we'll start with As Dusk Falls, coming to the Xbox Series X and S,
Mm,
Xbox One, and the PC, July 19th. Also, July 19th, we got Inlane Extinction is Forever, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And then Fallen Angel, also July 19th, which is going to be on the Switch and PC. And then we also got Into the Breach, also coming out July 19th on iOS and Android. And then we got the big game for this week, Stray, coming out July 19th for the PS5, PS4, and PC. It's a day one if you have the PlayStation Plus Premium. I'm not sure about Extra, but I know it's definitely on the Premium for sure. Um, Bright Memory Infinite, coming to the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch, coming July 21st. Koromon is coming to Switch July 21st. And then Live Alive is coming to the Switch July 22nd. And then Capcom Arcade Second Stadium is coming to the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC July 22nd. Of course, that game, along with the Endling Extinction is Forever. If you can play it on upper generation consoles with backwards compatibility, you should be able to. I don't see why you wouldn't be. Um, any games coming out next week that our listeners or viewers should be on the lookout
Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good games right here. I think the first one that I would say off the top of this list is gonna be, you know it, Stray.
Stray,
Yeah, man.
definitely.
I don't know. What is it about playing a cat in a post-apocalyptic world with robots. That just seems so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Stray seems pretty awesome. I'm really looking forward to that one, especially since I get it for free. Not to brag or anything, but I think that's going to be pretty sweet. And I don't know if anyone else out there watches Love, Death, and Robots, but there's an episode in that Netflix series where there's robots and they're on vacation and they're traveling the world, and the only thing in that world is cats, and they are pretty much terrified of cats. So I don't know if like the developers of Stray like watched Love, Death, and Robots and were like, we got to make that into a game. But I can I can very much see that. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's going to be the number one. I
Yeah.
will. I'll mention some other games, but what about you? What are you excited for?
Besides Stray, which looks really good, another I think it will be nominated for a few awards at the Game Awards coming up. Definitely in the indie category for sure. I just gotta play it. Live Alive. Right now the demo is still available on the Switch. So if you wanna try to get that, if you're thinking about getting that, definitely do so. So for the most part, um, yeah, so Live Alive. And then Into the Breach, I have it on Switch. I wasn't very impressed with it. I mean, I know it's a nice strategy game, but if you are into Advance Wars, give it a try. But I mean, you could just hold out for Advance Wars, which I hopefully still comes out later this year.
Hmm.
And then I guess the final game that I got my radar set on is Capcom Arcade Second Stadium. um, yeah, you can't. It's a bundle of over 30 games from Capcom. I think they do retro collections very well. One of the best, in my opinion. And you can buy the game separately if you like. I know they have those Mega Man arcade games on there, so those were pretty fun. So I'll definitely dip into those when I get a chance. But yeah, but I mean that's everything that people should be on the lookout for. As
Fine.
Dusk
Well,
Falls.
I still have another. I still have another one. I wanted to get you in there also.
Oh, I got
But
carried
bright.
away. My bad.
Yeah. Bright Memory Infinite
Oh yeah.
is an indie first person shooter, and that game just rave reviews, and is just really hailed to be like such a great game. It was delayed a couple times, but that game is fire. So if you're looking for a just a first person shooter that's not necessarily AAA, if you're looking for another one, if you're done with the Battlefields and Call of Duties, that is definitely one to check out also.
Yeah, I think overall this coming week is better than last week because last week was
Oh
just
yeah,
a whole lot of
yeah,
yeah. But I mean, it's gonna get better, and as the summer rolls on, you are gonna see bigger releases,
yeah. There's
coming
no
out.
big AAA's on the. There hasn't been any big AAA's the last couple of weeks from what I remember.
All right. So, with that being said, I lost a lot of my comments since I had to dip out. So, Finest, if you want to go over the comments some of our viewers chipped in on.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know and that watch the show, we read comments at the end of every show. So if you've commented during that show, we read that at the end of the show in what we call chat room. But yeah, let's see. It looks like there's quite a few comments. Let's see. From Autumn, Autumn Reed. Let's see. So she says, or they say, I'm not quite sure if it's a he or she, but they say with
She.
the PS5, it seems easy to add the SSD. There's only two screws, so Justin, you don't have to worry about making a video.
Okay.
Let's see. Also, a great point out that the PlayStation Stars, the new loyalty program that we were speaking to earlier, it seems like a equivalent to Chuck E. Cheese tickets.
Dave and Buster's, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, all the same. Let's see. And then also from Autumn, we have a couple more. I will go ahead and read these quickly. PlayStation Stars, if it allows her to then earn a PlayStation 5, she's all in. Same here. I can totally agree with that. And then let's see, multiverses. Out of all the beat 'em ups that have come out this year, or just more in recently, multiverses looks the closest to Smash in terms of gameplay. I agree with that one.
Yeah.
That's why I will be jumping into multiverses July 26th when it comes out, in that, or when the open beta comes out July 26th. Let's see, maybe J Man, you can jump in with me a little
All
bit
right.
with.
I know what up to Extransis. I know he was I know he jumped in earlier on. I've watched a few of his streams. He likes to
Mhm,
stream I want to say League of Legends. So I mean,
mhm,
that definitely what up to you if you're still watching.
mhm.
A couple more comments we'll read. Let's see. I believe the from Autumn once again. I believe the PS5 has already hinted at that, and with this new tier PlayStation Plus system, it's evident that they are pushing digital games and cloud streaming. And you're making me sad, Autumn. All right, and then all right, and then she dropped a link in here. I guess we could check it out later for more the release date behind God of War's release date, and then we'll read one more, and then she thinks it's smart for companies to do, just take older games off, to free up the servers. So I mean, purchase newer games, and I guess that makes sense. But at the same time, people do love their old games. So
Mhm.
I mean, you make some good valid points. And then one more about the Genesis Mini 2. I am a Prime member. I'm not sure if I'll get that way because it is coming from Japan with the
Yeah.
shipping.
So something that, since it is Amazon exclusive, something that Amazon could be doing is they could be just ordering them in mass quantity and then housing them in. They're not going to ship over each individual unit. So since as Amazon exclusive, they'll buy whatever amount of consoles, and they'll at the market rate, and then they'll sell them for $100. So if they cost like $50 to make, let's say, they'll buy 100,000 of them or whatever, and then they'll have that 100,000 here, and then of course they'll sell them at $100 or whatever that case may be.
Yeah, we can
Typically,
only hope.
typically how that works. Yeah, I mean that's how it always works in most cases. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's fine.
All right, and with that being said, so for the most part, thank you for
Oh,
everyone who wrote in.
last
Oh,
note, real quick. Just a quick note to everyone: just don't post links in the chat. Otherwise, our bot will kind of warn you. So yeah, no links in the chat, but you're more than welcome to write in anytime. And now it's all you, J Man.
all right. Thank you for that. And with that being said, we will do it. I apologize for the technical difficulties. My second screen kind of went black, so that's why I kind of had to jump out. And even then, I accidentally closed the web browser that I'm on. But you've been watching or listening to episode 96 of the Game and Watch podcast. Catch us next week for another great episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see y'all on the next one. Later.
Bye, everyone.